Thank you for joining me today. Today, we're looking at what 1,000 days means. There's two sides to this coin, and understanding the positive side as well as the absolute meaning of the negative side is required for you to fully understand what we're up against and why we can achieve success. This is presented by Be the Boat Rocker. I'm Alan S. Billahus. I have a master's and education specialist degree in rehabilitation counseling. I'm also a MMTLP shareholder. So, again, today we're talking about the two sides of 1,000 days: unmasking the MMTLP betrayal, empowering the fight back. As of today, October 29th, 2025, we're well past 1,000 days since the FINRA halt that froze our shares. This isn't just a timeline, it's a wake up call for shareholders trapped in a rigged system in a rigged game. The SEC and FINRA actually ran this pump and dump on us, knowing that we would invest more because we knew the laws, the rules, and regulations, and they led us to believe that they were going to follow it. Instead, they did a forever halt. And now it's time for us to take them to task. We're going to take this rigged system and turn it upside down. For the next 20 to 25 minutes, we will dive into the betrayal and how to turn it into our advantage. So let's get started. To give you a roadmap, here's what we'll cover. First, a quick intro into what MMTLP is for anyone that's new. Then, we're going to expose the dark side, the systemic betrayal that's kept us in limbo for 3 years. After that, we're going to flip to the bright side and learn how 1,000 days becomes our secret weapon. Finally, we will tie it all together with actionable steps. This presentation uses real stories and analogies to make the complex simple and empowering. We can win this game. So let's start with the basics. MMTLP stands for Meta Materials Preferred Shares, a special stock created during the spinoff from Meta Materials Incorporated, or MMAT, to give investors stakes in oil and gas assets, which many of us had from previously from Torchlight, through a new private company called NextBridge Hydrocarbons. It was supposed to be a straightforward transition, but on December 9th, 2022, FINRA halted trading, citing vague settlement risk. That left over 65,000 retail investors like you and me holding frozen shares, potentially worth billions. And we know this is true based on E-Trade position close only data. The real kicker? Evidence points to massive naked short selling, where insiders and even FINRA and FINRA members themselves created and sold phantom shares without delivering them and no intention of ever delivering them. We have no resolution after 3 years, no trade settlement. We're just in limbo. Imagine buying a house, but at closing, the government locks the doors safely and hands the keys to the rehab flippers who bet against you. That's MMTLP. But this isn't about stocks. This is about people. Retirees have seen their life savings evaporate. We've had multiple families lose whole farms, not to mention houses and cars. Families have gotten divorces. Families have had to put dreams and medical issues on hold. College funds, home repairs, new cars, car repairs, all on hold. And the emotional toll is endless frustration fighting a system that is designed to confuse and leave you feeling betrayed and bewildered. that seems designed to wear you down, because it is. Because the more they wear you down, the less effective you are in fighting them. And that's why MMTLP is where we're at today. And for the last 3 months, if you just look at our community, we have fallen apart. We have been worn down, beat up. But today, we're going to start a bright new future. So let's flip back and let's flip the coin to the dark side. This is the absolute negative and most evil part of the coin. Those 1,000 days aren't a delay, those are vital proof of absolute intentional inaction. This isn't a glitch in the system. This is the system working as intended. And until you understand that point, you won't understand the game and the battle we're in. The system is working as intended, protecting Wall Street at our expense. Wall Street steals and has rigged the game against retail, and we've known this. It's been in our face since AMC and GME, and they took the buy button away. Who was allowed to buy during those days? We're going to break it down by institution to see the full betrayal. First, the regulators. The SEC and FINRA, after 1,000 days with no audits, no forced buy ins, and no settlement pass, there's no discussions, there's no planning, there's no scheduling. This should make it absolutely clear to you they never intended to fix this. This is a forever halt. When they halted us, they had multiple ways to get out. One was to try to get us trading. We didn't want that. We are still on one of their paths on the way out. They didn't just halt trading to avoid a massive short. They created an even bigger short on the last two trading days. We know this is true based on the data we have and the fact that they avoided CNS clearing firms. So it wasn't just about the squeeze, it was about crushing us and sucking us out of every last dollar they could. Now they're burying MMTLP like they've done with other scandals and companies, from the 2008 crisis to the meme stocks. For them, this is business as usual. For you, you're left bewildered because you believed in the system and trusted in the system, and you don't understand they rigged the game against you and they give you this lie, and you've been believing in the lie just like all other retail. Let retail eat the losses while the insiders, FINRA members, walk away scot free with your money. Moving up to Congress and the Senate, the overseers, despite our letters, calls, Zoom meetings, and their fake hearings making it look like they did something or tried something, and our constant outcry for 3 years, they've shown zero urgency. They dismiss us, ignore us. It's a regulatory matter. Let SEC and FINRA handle it. And they have moved on. Why? Because it does not hit their big bank donors. Why? Because this is their golden goose. This is how they get funded privately and publicly. Why do you think they walk away with tens of millions of dollars, and yet their job salary is less than $200,000, and they don't own a business or anything else? They are getting rich at our expense. After 1,000 days, this indifference should ingrain in you and prove they see no crisis. This is business as usual. And there's nothing we do that affects them or their job unless we go in person, just like Don Fizz. They have to address this in person. which is why a constitutional rights redress is powerful. If we go in person, they can't avoid us forever. After 1,000 days, we've had it. Enough. We've got to find consequences for them, and showing up in person is consequences. We live in a broken democracy where we lack the lobbying muscle and finances to work the system the way they want it worked. We're going back to the Constitution and work the system based on how our founding fathers and the battle should be fought. Then there's law enforcement, the FBI, Department of Justice, Secret Service, and others. We've handed them mountains of evidence, complete packets with details, how to's. We've given them in person trainings. We've shown them where to get the hard data. We've shown them hard data. We've shown them everything they need to do their job. Technically, multiple CEOs and investors have shown them how to do their job, and yet there's nothing. No raids, no charges. They also defer to the failed regulators, the SEC and FINRA, basically seeing it as not their problem. This isn't oversight, it's complicity. The system is working as it should against retail. The system is rigged, and they're using our belief in the system as a way to keep us from overcoming it. Today, we're going to stop that. The dark side, the bigger picture. Tying the dark side together, 1,000 Days exposes widespread systemic fraud and complicity, naked shorts, phantom shares, a settlement system that's an illusion. You still think it's a glitch and they'll fix it? You're fighting for the system if you believe it's still a glitch. The system is rigged, and don't fight for the system. The system is against you. But if you still think it's a glitch, you're fighting for the system, not yourself. It wants you compliant, distracted, running around with all the smoke and mirrors and all the confusion and all the little technicalities where they change the definitions and rules along the way. So you give up. But recognizing this betrayal is the first step in breaking free. The bright side. This is the overview. So let's shift to the bright side. Those 1,000 days aren't just pain, anguish, and hell. They have now become an absolute game changer. This is now our golden key. This is like breaking the sound barrier. It shatters the old rules, turning their chaos into our absolute opportunity. With this milestone behind us, we can cut through their bullshit. We can cut through the noise and fight smarter. The bright side, breaking old rules. Think physics. Rules change with environments and contexts. Before 1,000 days, we had to chase every excuse and all other rules and changes, and we had to prove XYZ. Endlessly chasing all the data and all the evidence. But now, with our Fire DD, we have all the evidence. Somewhere around 2023, we probably had about 80% of the evidence covered. By 2024, we probably have about 95% more of the evidence documented and covered. We have that. We no longer have to chase all these little excuses and all the loose ends. We focus on the new equation. Now that we're past 1,000 days, we've broken the sound barrier. Our new equation is X123Z, for example. Undeniable inaction proves their intent never to settle. No more spinning on their controlled variables. Avoiding their traps. So, to avoid the traps, with this analogy, Have you ever seen a cat chase a laser dot? It, they think it's real. They think it's prey. They think it's some animal that's moving. But in reality, it's an illusion that's controlled by a hidden pointer. Many of us are the cat right now, chasing technicalities, finding loose ends, trying to chase down and pin down all their smoke and mirrors that can't be caught because it's on their terms, on their definitions, and they keep changing the rules. And a lot of things they're pulling up is nothing but a mirage designed to confuse, obfuscate, and lead you on the wrong path. But with 1,000 days now, and with all the Fire DD evidence, guess what? We get to take a step back. We get to target and view the whole scene. We can look for the source of the pin light, the actual corruption, not the symptoms of the light moving around in the smoke and mirrors. We are looking at the hand that controls the game. This is a multi-front war. It's not one battlefield. Technical DD from Fire DV folks like Curtis and Elf is crucial, and we'll still need it. Getting FOIAs is still crucial, and we still need it. But it can't be our only focus. We've got to focus on other battlefields. You can't have everybody in the Pacific Ocean on that theater and not address what's going on in the North Atlantic theater. This is a multiple field battlefield. You can't send all your troops in one area. The fight is in other places. And right now, we've got the Pacific, the DD controlled. We still need people there doing their thing, but the fight is now in the North Atlantic. We must diversify. We must hit them hard. We must get direct, in-person public pressure on them and keep the legal issues and angles going as well. The Indiana Jones move. With 1,000 days and all the DD that Elf Carbon and Curtis and the Fire DD team has given us, we are now like Indiana Jones. We are basically prepared for anything and everything. So, when we are there with our constitutional right redress and we're making our demands, and they trot out experts like James Angel with all of their little technicalities and confusion tactics, we become Indiana Jones with our evidence and with 1,000 days. Why no settlement after 1,000 days? Simple, direct. We can end the jig. So while they're there throwing their sword around, showing us how fancy this is and that is, and we need to wait or whatever, now we get to just pull out the pistol and it says T2 on it, simple, and it says 1,000 days. That's the trap. Take their confusion and bring it back to the most simplest denominator, which is T2, 1 for 1,000 days shows that you do not intend to settle, and we are here to enforce settlement. Today is consequence day. No matter what they throw at us, we bring it back to T2, 1 for 1,000 days. This concept is key because every time we bring someone in, what do? They bring in all these experts and talked about technicalities. But in the end, SEC and FINRA, their primary job is to settle the trades. T2, 24/7. It's been 1,000 days and we don't have T2. Why? It's not oversight. It's not a systemic issue. They do not intend to settle. We're bringing our Constitution today. We're going to enforce that settlement. And we're going to do it in person, and we're going to do it based on our constitutional rights, and we're going to take the fight to them on our battleground with our tactics, and they got nothing left. Nothing. We keep bringing it back to T2, 1,000 days. They are trapped in a corner. The only problem is You've got to rise up and go to Ann Wagner's office and not leave until we get our demands met. We've got them cornered today, now, before they destroy the evidence. So let's tie it all together. The dark side of the coin proves that the system is rigged. Nobody in the system has any intention of ever settling MMTLP. All systems are normal for them. They are cruising for destruction of NextBridge and us. But here we are. On the bright side, the very things that they're using to absolutely destroy us, we now can turn against them. Simple demands, T2 settlement scheduling, audited share count. If retail comes into our support in mass, we will get their share count. Yes, we are going to publicly demand Trump fire SEC and FINRA employees immediately for criminal negligence, and this is based on the facts of 1,000 days, T2, 1 for 1, and nothing's happened. We've got them cornered, people, and making that demand first and foremost is going to put us on TV. We've just got to be there, loud, proud, and absolutely certain of RDD, absolutely certain of the laws and the facts. We can do this. They are cornered. But to keep them in the corner and to get our settlement, we've got to show up in person. We can't do this by phone, sitting at home, writing in letters. They control that battlefield. They warehouse our complaints. That's why we've been losing for 3 years. We've got to go in person. We have absolute certainty we are going to win. We are moving today from total despair and bewilderment into dominance. We are going to take the system down. We are going to dismantle FINRA and the SEC in one fell swoop, but only if you show up for the constitutional rights redress. That is the power, the Constitution, people in person. That is where our strength is. We've got all the evidence. We have the golden keys, but the keys only work if you go in person. The keys only work if you grab your Constitution and stay firm on your rights and what you value in life. Stop believing in the system. So, what now? We want to demand full audits and share counts. We want to demand our T2 settlement scheduling. To do this, we've got to do a constitutional rights redress. We have to do it in person. We have to get buy-in from the community. Then we can get buy-in from other CEOs and the retail community. We can amass an army that is so big and strong, it's not going to take days and weeks. We can do this in hours if we get our old MMTLP team back and focus correctly. We can create a force so large that within hours we can crush the system based on constitutional rights, based on the rules and regulations that are already in place in the market and have been signed off by the SEC and FINRA. They're just not following the rules. Our constitutional redress rights will be successful. The things that the people had to fight in the past in communist countries and authoritarian regimes, and even here in the United States, we have advantages they never had. For example, several of those sit-ins, the 78% of the population was against them. The population is going to immediately be for us. We've got so many advantages and so much evidence. There's nothing to the downside that holds us back except for you and negative beliefs and believing that the system is going to fix it. The belief that I shouldn't have to do this, and you're right, you shouldn't have to. Unfortunately, this is life. This is the real world. You either fight for it or you accept total loss and let the system walk all over you. Pick up your Constitution and demand what's right. I know you don't want to be there. I don't want to be there. I've got a life too, you know. I don't want to be making these videos. We've got to do what we got to do to take down this beast, and we've got to do it together. This isn't something one person can do. This isn't something 10 people can do. We need our army back. We need it focused. We need it to have absolutely certainty in Fire DD's evidence that they have given us over the last 3 years. We need to be absolutely certain what T2 means and 1-for-1 means. We need to be absolutely certain that the system is rigged and they have zero intention to solve the situation. If you still believe in the system, there's no way you can give this 110%. You have to fully understand the system is working as it should to destroy you and destroy NetBridge, just like they do every other company. The dark side of 1000 days shows the system is absolutely positively against us, and it's working as it should as it marches on to December 8th of this year to destroy all of the data. And once that data is destroyed, it's like burying a body that will never be unearthed or exhumed. It's over. But the bright side of a 1000 days, it gives us the golden tool to prove that they have no intention of settling. And now they are cornered. We've got all the evidence. And we've got evidence of their inaction. And we've got evidence of their intentions of never settling. They are cornered. Only if you grab your Constitution and fight for your rights. We've got everything covered. There's no way to lose this thing.